Hi thrifty friends, it's Laura. I hope you're all doing well. It's Wednesday today and I'm now not needed to look after the grandkids on Wednesdays. So I've actually been crafting. I've been really enjoying myself, although sitting still is tough because it's darn cold. I was going to say something else, but I won't. It's really cold and it's chilly down here in the basement, so sitting still for a long time gets me kind of cold, but that's my only complaint. So I just wanted to quickly show you, I just made a couple of things just for the fun of it. I like to make purse charms. Yeah, on my videos I used to always have purse of the week. I've kind of let that go, but I love to have different purses and I love to have charms that can hang on my purses. And this one I've made that it's kind of got a bit of a bracelet because the purse that I want to put it on, like just a little snap is too small to go on the rings. So this little bit of a bracelet can actually go around the whole strap of the purse. And yeah, I just had fun. Just put a few dangly things on there and just enjoyed myself. So that's my one project from today. And then my other one was I opened a bar of soap and I thought, oh, that little box would make a nice junk journal. So I just utilized the little soap box and made myself a little junk journal. I've just got 2 signatures in there and just used note paper, some leftover scrapbook paper, some pages from an old dictionary, and just for the fun of it, made myself a junk journal. So that's my 2 little projects that I was playing with today. I like my little flowers on the front of it. And I got out last weekend and picked up a few things at the secondhand stores, but life has been kind of crazy, so I haven't been able to make many videos. But I don't know if I showed you this lovely little Fenton vase that I got way back in the summer when I bought the stuff at the auction sale. And it's marked on the bottom, so it puts it between after 1971, I think, the way they marked it on the bottom. So it's vintage, possibly, but I just really like it, and I've been popping a candle in it, and it's just really pretty. So I have to make sure I keep it away from that stuff, though. Okay, so what I picked up last weekend, I got one thing that I think is just phenomenal, and I want to share it first because I'm always under my 15-minute time constraint with my bossy iPad. So I love vintage linens, and because I do use them in the junk journals, I just pick them up no matter what shape they're in. And if you can see this, it took me a while to figure out what it said, but it says Canadian Buffs, and here it says the Buffs, and that's a military insignia. I'm not sure, I can't really read what this says. It's stumped me a little bit. But anyway, let me tell you the story behind this. This has got to be over 100 years old, and I looked up the Buffs, okay? The 198th Overseas Battalion, the Canadian Buffs, the Queen's Own Rifles. They were mustered in 1916, and they were sent to England to train to go into battle in the First World War. They fought at Vimy, the Somme, Ypres, Cyprus, I'm not saying that right, and Courtesella, somewhere else. I'm sorry. Mostly in France, okay? Fought in the First World War in France. And they were disbanded at the end of 1917. So this beautiful little piece would have been made by a wife, a mother, a sister of a gentleman who was shipping out. And he would have taken it with him. And it's so sweet. Oh my gosh, I just love it. You can actually see down here the pencil marks where they traced out the pattern that the person was going to stitch. So this is amazing. Now with this came this. So it says a souvenir. Oh, I'm holding it upside down. Sorry. A souvenir of France. It is a silk hanky. All right, with this beautiful stitchery on it and a bit of lace here. My assumption of the story is that this gentleman went to war, to the First World War in France, and thank God he came home. Hopefully he came home and brought this back for his wife, mother, or sister from France at the end of the war. So I think I just love how these old things can tell us a story like that. And I'm going to insert a picture of this battalion taken in Toronto before they left to go over and fight. And it's only part of the picture. The picture's really long. There's lots of, it was over 1,000 men. And but I'll just insert one part of the picture, but just to think that maybe one of those men carried that over there into battle in the trenches or God knows where in the First World War. So, hey, that's a bit of a story to go with my linen find. Now, I've got a couple of other linen finds I'll share with you. This one, I was tickled pink to get this. It's just a small little, what do you call it? Oh my gosh, the words have gone from me. Isn't that awful? Little tablecloth for like a card table size. But what it's got on it is all the provinces. Prince Edward Island. Okay, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland. It's got all the provinces, and I think it has a territory or two. What's this one? Oh, British Columbia, Alberta, Yukon. Okay, it's got Yukon there. So this is going to be for my Canada Day project that I've been doing. And I did pay $3 for that. It wasn't on sale. But had to have it. Something for my project. Okay. Now I've got a big pile here, but I think I won't show it all. I forget what this was called. And these were often made into whole bedspreads. I forget the name of this craft. Somebody might remember it. But isn't that sweet? Look at all that old fabric that those circles are made of, and then they're like a flower on the front. So I thought that was pretty fun, and I'll pass on those. Oh, this one. Oh, this is gorgeous. Look at this. Somebody's little newborn nightgown was in with this stuff that I got. So I had to have that. And oh, these guys are cute. We've got little fingertip towels. That one's his. That one's hers. They're made of a nice linen in a pink color. And then I got two of these. I'm not quite sure what they were for, but can you see the lovely moth that's in there? If I put it against the darkness of my sweater. And that's in a beautiful ecru kind of cotton, I guess. And then this one has some stains on it, but I just can't pass up something. You can see one of the stains there. Something with this amount of work in it I could not leave behind. So I will I'll review JoJo's Lakeside Treasures. She's really good with linens, and she has some tutorials on cleaning them. So I'll review some of her videos and see about how I can clean this. And it's not huge either. It's certainly not a dinner table size. So a side table or a card table, it would hang down a little bit. And then vintage people, I paid, these were half price. Okay, so I got $1, and it's vintage wallpaper. You can see a little bit of the pattern there. It's 57 square feet, contains 1 bolt. vinyl coated, peelable, pre-pasted, fun and easy. I remember doing wallpapering with my mother. It was never fun and never easy. She was good at it though. My mom was really good at it. So there's a little bit of the pattern that's on there. And I really have a wall that I would want to wallpaper down here. So I think I'll probably try to sell this. I looked it up on eBay and comps are about $30 a roll. So that's not bad. And I'm torn though. I do want to keep some of it for crafting with, but we'll see. How's my time doing? Okay. I can't get through probably everything, but I've always loved tromping around old cemeteries. So I grabbed this book. Hardcover books were $2, but everything was half price, so it was $1. And just a quick peek through it, actually right at the beginning, I saw this picture. And I thought, well, darn it, that looks familiar. That is a cemetery that was just down the road, like within walking distance of my farm. And the interesting story behind that I'm telling you is that there are actually no bodies in that cemetery. It's only headstones. And the reason it was like that was because after the war, let me go back. Rural people used to bury their family on the farm, on the family farm. There wasn't, going to a cemetery was more of an urban thing to do. But after the war, so many husbands and brothers, so many of the men folk didn't come back. So women with younger children, perhaps, they didn't have any option but to sell the farms and let the farm go out of the family. Prior to that, the farms had been in the families until the days when the land was, what's the word? It was given to them by the crown. A lot of people that I knew, their family farms were a land grant for military service a lot of the times. So anyways, because they were leaving the farms, they were very distraught about leaving the graves behind. So the community that I lived in had gotten together and created this little cemetery where they unfortunately couldn't bring the bodies, but they did bring the headstones so that those families that left the family farm still had a place to go and remember their loved ones. So I thought that was pretty neat. It's got all kinds of cool stuff. And a lot of my American friends won't know who Tim Horton is, but I'll have to show you. There's a couple that I do know that you have Tim Hortons down around where you live, and that is his gravestone there. And Tim Hortons is the place we go for coffee. We talk about going for a Timmy's. That's where we're going. We're getting our Timmy's. So anyways, I got a few other things, but I'll let it slide and show you. Oh, no, I'll show you something else, just for the fun of it. I used to work as a professional photographer for a horse magazine. And when I had my fire, I lost everything in that fire. And unfortunately, I hadn't been working for this magazine for a while, and the girl who ran it had passed away. So I was unable to get copies of the magazine. This is the magazine that I worked for. I found these 2 copies of this magazine in a secondhand store, and so I now have 2 copies of the magazine with articles and photographs that I had done. So that's my sister's horse. That's my sister standing with it. We did an article on lunging, training your horse, your basic training, and there was one picture that was my son's hands were in it. I didn't get that one back. But there's my beautiful horse, Major Surprise, and he was modeling this sheepskin to go on your halter. So that's pretty cool. That's a really neat thing about thrifting. I gotta go. I'm almost at 15 minutes. Everybody take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.